Today we are going to cover another executive functioning skill called prioritizing. Okay, this is part of the series that I am doing of live sessions covering executive functioning skills. So for those of you who are new, my name is Emilio Jose Garcia, and I do live sessions every week. Can you guys see me and hear me good? Can you please type in the chat if you can see me? Because I'm not seeing the chat. So today's topic is prioritizing, and really getting clear on what that means. Because prioritizing can apply to bigger goals, bigger things in life, and prioritizing can also apply for very small things. Okay, so we are going to talk about the difference on those two things. And before we get started, let me do one thing here because I cannot see your comments. So I'm just gonna leave the call 1 second and come back, okay? Okay, well, I don't know. Okay, well, hopefully you guys can see me and hear me. I cannot see the chat, but I'm just gonna keep going, okay? So prioritizing is a very, very important executive functioning skill that normally it works together with other ones, okay? Normally, as you may know now, if you have followed my other live sessions, or maybe if you have taken my course, you will notice that there are many different executive functioning skills that they are going to be working together at the same time. So prioritizing is one of them that I feel it's normally working together with planning, with organization, with task initiation. There is also emotional self-regulation into prioritizing, because so many times we are trying to prioritize something, but emotions are showing up for us. And then maybe we are getting triggered. Maybe we're getting overwhelmed. Maybe we don't have clarity. Maybe that decision scares us. So there is always emotional reasons of why sometimes we choose not to prioritize something and we procrastinate. Okay? Procrastination is something that can show up in many different ways. And emotional self-regulation is really important when you are trying to prioritize, because you may feel that procrastination showing up. You may feel fear of prioritizing that task, because that means that you need to show up. That means that you need to do something about that task. And maybe you don't know what that means. Or maybe you are afraid of getting started and maybe failing. Or maybe you quite don't know what steps to follow yet. So in those cases, when you are feeling that way, you are trying to prioritize something that you feel is important, but you don't know how to move forward with it, and you are noticing that you are procrastinating, you are not making something important a priority, and you know from your heart that you want to do something about it, but there is something on the way. I always recommend to really get clear about, maybe do some mindfulness around it, maybe do a little bit of meditation to really understand what's happening here, what's stopping me from taking action here. And maybe the first step that you need to prioritize in that case is to prioritize spending time with yourself, or spending time with a person or a group that you may feel that can help you gain clarity and move forward with more intention. So maybe that's the first step, because you don't need to have all the answers. You don't need to know everything. So in that case, the first step will be, Emilio, I am going to schedule maybe half an hour, and I am going to brainstorm ideas. I am going to really get clear about what's getting on my way right now. How can I overcome this? And maybe I do that work first with myself. And then as I do that work, maybe I am clear doing it by myself, and I feel complete, and I can move forward. I find the next step to take action on, and then I will prioritize that. Okay, maybe I create a plan with different steps, and then I use sequencing to order those steps, and then I use prioritizing to decide which one comes first, which one is the most important. Okay. So maybe that, or maybe I realized, you know what? I am not clear yet. I am not complete yet. And this is beyond my capacity. I need help here. I need support. So then my next prioritizing step, my next priority is going to be to really figure out what is the next step for me? What kind of support do I need? And then support for me, I can think of different ways. I can book a session with my counselor. I can have a dialogue with my wife. I can call one of my good friends and see if they can hear me out or listen to me. I can bring this to my circle. I do a man's circle every week or every other week. Maybe I can bring this to that circle and then do some work around it and gain some clarity. Maybe I can connect with a Facebook group or with a community of people that are maybe doing what I am trying to achieve and ask them questions. So you see, there are different ways. Maybe I want to read a book about the topic. Maybe I want to listen to a podcast. Maybe I want to watch a YouTube video. As you see, there are many, many ways to gain support. And you need to understand, how do you receive help and support the best way possible? Okay, and then once you decide that, then you make that a priority. Okay, so now I know that that's important for me. I know that I want to move forward with that. That's a priority for me. So the next step for me is to gain more clarity, is to learn more about this, is to bring this question to my group, is to have a dialogue with my wife, is to call that good friend that I have that I know he did something similar to what I'm trying to do. And then I'm going to ask him, I'm going to ask for support from him and see what he feels or thinks about it. So all those supports can be enough for you to then find the next step. And this is what's important with those priorities, with those things that you really want to do, but you quite don't know how to move forward. Prioritizing can also apply to things that are more simpler, things that are more easy. You just have to do them, okay? So prioritizing can be how you prioritize house chores. But you have to do the dishes, you have to do laundry, you have to cook, you have to go to the grocery store, you have to clean the house, you have to mop, whatever you do, you have to redo the bed, you have to put the laundry away. So all these things, you get to prioritize them in whatever way fits you and your lifestyle. For some, that's a priority once a week. Maybe it's once every other week. Maybe that's something daily that you make it a priority. It's going to look different for each of you, but you are going to prioritize what you are doing, okay? Prioritizing can apply to big things in life, and prioritizing can apply to very, very simple things in life. So I can be thinking about what's a priority for me this morning, okay? And then what's a priority for me this afternoon and this evening and tomorrow. So that's a short-term prioritization. And then you can be thinking about bigger things, like what do I want to prioritize in my finances, in my like personal development, in my spirituality, in my relationships, in the way I show up for my daughter, in the way I show up for my wife. So those are big thinking. And then you are going to set big intentions. And then those big intentions are going to direct you. It's going to give you some direction, okay? But then maybe that's a priority for you. Maybe you say, right now, it is a priority for me to make my relationships more, to nurture them. So maybe that's the main goal that I have, but that's not really specific. It's not something that I can take action on yet. But that's the direction. That's my priority, okay? So then from that priority that feels good to me, and this is something that is very important, it needs to feel good to you. It needs to be something that is important. It needs to be something that you really want to do, and you know that it's going to make your life better. Once you realize that that's a thing, then you are going to start thinking about what are the steps that I can prioritize on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to bring me closer to that destination that I am trying to achieve. Okay, so if I am trying to create more nurturing relationships, for example, maybe some steps will be once a week I am going to show up into a meetup. Once a week I am going to, maybe I create my own meetup or my own group where I share a specific skill that I want. Maybe I like juggling and slacklining. Maybe one of my ideas is I'm going to bring my slackline and my juggling balls. I'm going to go to the park and maybe I'm just going to put a sign, join me, learn how to juggle, use the slackline, give it a try. And maybe that allows me to, if I do that on a weekly basis, more likely I will get to know people, more likely people will notice me, and more likely I may start a group of people who gather there to do that activity. Okay, so think about what is something that you would like to do. For example, socially speaking, maybe you like reading books and you create a book club or you join one. Maybe you like running and I see running groups around here. So those are something specific that you will make a priority on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. I would say weekly will be the ideal, because if you want to see a change in your life, ideally that change is going to happen on a weekly basis. I always say the same thing. When you want to create a beautiful life, everything that you envision in that life, majority of those things should be done weekly, like could be done weekly, so that your week becomes an amazing life. And then that week repeats over and over and over. And other than once a year kind of thing, maybe like a once a year vacation or a once a year trip to a specific place, everything else, it's weekly done. So every week you read, every week you practice self-care, every week you take care of your home, every week. So there will be specific things that maybe once a month, but majority of the important things that you want to like include in your life, ideally you are going to prioritize them weekly. How to do that? This is another strategy for prioritization, okay? It's important to maybe write down all your main intentions, all your main activities, or your main goals that you have, that you want to include in your life. And maybe you include them. You grab a piece of paper and then you do what's called a brain dump. And then you just dump everything. And try not to get lost in the details, okay? So I don't want you to write down, for example, if you are trying to nurture your relationships, I don't want you to write down 1,000 ideas for that specific thing, the details. I want you to write down the big idea, okay? I want to nurture my relationships. I want to drink more water and nurture my body. I want to be a better husband. I want to make my job more fulfilling. So write the big things. Then once you have the big things, then and you have a brain dump, that everything is on paper, then you can start branching out from that. And that will become a mind map, it's called. And basically from every big idea, that hopefully you leave spaces between those ideas, you are going to start branching out with, okay, what are ideas that I can do to take action on these bigger ideas? And then you are going to start writing down, for example, if you see relationships, you may write down, I'm going to take meetups. I'm going to reach out with friends that I enjoy spending time with them and maybe make it more a priority. I want to maybe start my own group doing something. I want to research what's going on at my local library. So you start writing down ideas that you may explore. And then once you have something like this, I will invite you to really look at it from the distance and really notice how you feel with each of these ideas, okay? And here, we are not thinking with our brain. We are going to tap in with our heart, with the way we feel about that. And then I want you to start noticing. You look at the first idea and then just notice what's coming up for you. Maybe excitement is coming up. Maybe fear. Maybe overwhelm. Maybe confusion and excitement at the same time. So just notice what's coming up with each of those activities. Okay? Because that's going to be a really good sign for you to know, is this important? Is this challenging for me? Do I really want to invest my time and my energy doing this task? Is this a priority right now in my life? And then if you have 15 things and you're feeling overwhelmed, when you start doing a scan, and I will invite you, like if you notice that you have too many ideas and that some of them are too similar, just group them together and then create a new paper with a more condensed version of these ideas. Because as I'm saying right now, we are looking for the general overview, not for the details, okay? The general overview that is going to allow you to really connect with, yes, that's an intention, that's a priority in my life. I want to make that a priority in my life. I don't want to make that a priority in my life right now, but I don't want to let it go either. So maybe this belongs in my life 6 months from now, 2 months from now, 1 month from now. But for the next 2 or 3 weeks, this is going to be my priority. So I want you to feel that. I want you to really look at its priority and then close your eyes and really feel, yes, this is important. Yes, this is something that I want to make happen now. Yes, this is important, but I don't need to make this happen right now. I know that one is going to benefit me more. So that one, I'm going to put it on pause. So you see, you are starting to give yourself, first, you are connecting with yourself and how you really feel. Second, you are starting to give yourself permission to let go or put on pause things that are important, but they are not a priority right now. And then you have them in that piece of paper that you can look at anytime you want, so you are not going to forget them. So you are decluttering your mind into that piece of paper, and that piece of paper is becoming your guide. And then you can use different colors to set priorities. So this is priority number 1. This is priority number 2. And this is priority number 3. And I feel complete with these 3 priorities for the next 4 weeks, for example. That's how you start prioritizing things. When you do this exercise, something very important that is going to happen is that you are connecting with the things that are really, truly important to you. And you are not letting the small things, the daily emergencies that are coming your way all the time, you are not letting them control your day, control your energy, control your creativity. Okay? You are stepping out of that and you are creating intention. And you are going to then, once you get clear on your main intentions and the priorities that are truly important to you, you are going to look at your week and you are going to start creating buckets of time, okay, where that intention is going to start happening. For example, if I want to be a better dad for my daughter, if that's one of my main intentions, okay, now I have my opportunity to start branching out and say, okay, what does that mean for me right now? It's clear that this is important. It's clear that this is a priority for me right now. And this is something that I want to do weekly, hopefully daily. Okay. So what do I need to do? So maybe one branch is look for activities to surprise her. Another one can be go to the library more often and change books more often so that she's engaged with books. Another one can be watch a video to understand why she's always choosing mommy and why she has a hard time maybe being with daddy sometimes, and how can I alleviate that pressure from my wife? Because when it's my time but mom is present, the dynamics get weird. So strategies to maybe understand things I can do differently to like grab her attention and distract her and bring her into playfulness. Another one is like how to be more present, maybe mindfulness activities to do with her. So you see, I'm branching out and I am looking for activities for that specific intention. And then once I have that, that's when I'm going to look at my week and then I'm going to think about, realistically speaking, when am I going to take action on these things? How much time do I really have for this? How much energy do I really have and want to invest in this? Because I will have 1,000 other things that I could do. But if you don't get clear on the things that you want to do, that they are a priority, the busyness of the day-to-day life is going to absorb you. And then you won't find the time. That's why it's so important to create the time and to protect it. Okay? So I am going to create that time and I am going to protect it. against other distractions, other responsibilities, other things that maybe are not a priority for me right now. So I am not neglecting things that I want to do or have to do. I'm just making those things a priority. So in that case, for example, it can look like, okay, I'm going to spend 1 hour this week and I'm going to ramble into YouTube, into Instagram, into Google, into maybe I go to the library and find books to find activities. And my goal is to find 3 new activities that I am excited to try with her. So maybe that's one. And then I will write those activities on my journal. And then I will find the time to do that with her. Right now in my calendar, I do have time frames when I am taking care of Eva. So that's already defined. So I will use some of that time to do those activities. Okay, so maybe tomorrow when I pick her up from daycare, I will go to the library and I will change books. And maybe that's a weekly thing that we do together. And then another thing that I can do is maybe I can set a station for the new exercise that I want to do with her. And then when she comes back from school or when she gets up, there is something set up that she's curious about. And then I start doing the activity and then she follows me because she loves doing it. And then she gets engaged. So those are 2 ideas. And then the main intention was created. I noticed that it was important. So I made it a priority. From that priority, I branched out the ideas that I had. Okay. And once I had those ideas, I picked a couple of ideas or 3 ideas and I put that in my week. And I decided how much time do I realistically have for that priority. Okay. And then I invite you to do the same with the other priorities. When you start placing them on your week, what's going to happen is that most likely majority of the people, and myself included when I did the exercise of creating my ideal week, I start putting things in my week and my week got full really quickly. And then I realized, wow, I don't have enough time to do everything that I thought I could do. So it's overwhelming, but it's good. You need that step in the journey. You need to become aware of that. That's a reality. So now that you have hit that reality, you are going to use your metacognition to reflect and to think about the way you think. And then you are going to use your cognitive flexibility or your adaptable thinking to brainstorm new possibilities. Okay, I am facing this wall. I have my week. I put everything in there and it's like jam-packed. And I know that this is not realistic. So now it's an opportunity for me to really look at what am I doing this week? Is there anything I can change? Are all these things priorities in my life? What can I say no to? What can I be more efficient at? How is my energy cycles and my creativity cycle flow through the day, through the week? Can I tweak things around so that I can create a week that is fulfilling for me and it's energizing for me? And then once I have that idea, how can I include my priorities in there? Okay, how much time, when, what day, and how? So this exercise can be very draining at the beginning. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be very draining, it's gonna be overwhelming, and you most likely, your brain is gonna be telling you, give up, give up, give up. No, there are emergencies, there are things to do. This, you are wasting time. Don't do this, you are wasting time. Go and get going, get doing, keep doing. I promise you that if you keep doing and you don't take the time to reflect and you don't take the time to sense and feel these priorities or these ideas or these intentions, and if you don't allow yourself that time, you will not be able to have control of your time. You will not be able to create the time for those intentions that are really important to you. You are going to end up reacting to what's coming to you. You are going to react to your environment, to the people around you demanding things from you, to what you see visually speaking, and the day's going to go by and you are going to feel like, where did the day go? What did I really do? I don't feel that I did what I wanted to do. And I don't have a plan for tomorrow. So it's going to be the same tomorrow. So if you are feeling that way, that's a sign that you need to do something different, don't you? If you like this and you are enjoying it and you are not frustrated, then maybe this is not an exercise for you. Maybe you don't need to prioritize anything. Maybe you are already happy with how your life is unfolding and flowing. And that's great. That's amazing. Congratulations. You have a beautiful life that you enjoy. That's amazing. So, but if you have some frustrations, and I believe that we all do, anytime you find a frustration, that's an opportunity. That's an entry point for you to start doing something different. And I feel that when you allow yourself to take the time to really assess, what do I really want in my week? What do I really want in my life? What areas of my life I feel I can do something more about? What are new activities that I would like to include in my life? What are things that are not fulfilling me anymore? And I need something else instead. So when you start noticing those things, you are going to start creating something from a place of intention, from a place of connection with yourself, and you are going to become aware of what the moment needs from you, what you want to place your time, energy, and creativity into. And when you have a piece of paper with all those reflections in the form of main ideas, main intentions, and you are looking at them one by one, and you are noticing how you feel, noticing the emotions that are showing up, you are going to have the opportunity to notice, wow, this task is making me feel overwhelmed. Why is that? Tell me more, Emilio. Why are you feeling so overwhelmed with that task? And that's an opportunity for you to maybe meditate on it, to maybe like spend some time in silence, to maybe bring it to a group, to maybe ask a question to someone, whatever you need to do to really dive into that. Why am I feeling overwhelmed? Oh yeah, so I'm feeling scared. I don't really know the steps to follow to make this a reality. And I am afraid to fail. So I don't want to fail, so I don't get started. But I don't get started, then I get that I'm missing out. And I know this is important for me, but I'm not getting started. And I'm feeling overwhelmed because I have to do something about this, but I don't know what that is. Do you see the pattern? That's something real in my life. But then I am noticing, I'm bringing light to that pattern. I'm using my metacognition executive functioning skill to bring the light to that example. And then I am going to use my adaptable thinking to think, okay, what can I do here different? What is something I can do that I haven't think of? What is something I can do that I haven't tried yet? Okay? And how can I push through this in a nice way, in a way that feels uncomfortable but exciting, uncomfortable but necessary? And how can I get myself out of my comfort zone enough to start making change, but not too much so that I feel overwhelmed or that I feel anxiety and then I shut down? And it's finding that edge. Okay? And then you're going to do this with every main intention that you have. And I promise you that when you start doing that, that combination of taking the time to write them down, taking the time to really connect with yourself and gain the clarity, taking the time to write 1,000 things down and noticing that you are overwhelmed, and then noticing that you are trying to do way too much that you cannot, you don't have enough time, and then going through the process of then analyzing, prioritizing what's important, what's not, what can wait, what cannot wait, and then making that intentional choice of this is the thing I want to work on, or these are the 3 things or the 4 things that I have the capacity for, and then putting that in your week and taking action on them, and then noticing, did I take action? Did it work? How did I feel? Did I move the needle into the direction I wanted to? Okay? And then using your metacognition to adjust, to reflect, to create a different approach, to maybe let it go if you notice, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I thought I wanted to, but no, this is not something I want in my life. And I give myself the permission to let it go. And I move to the next thing. And maybe the next thing is amazing and you love it so much and you want more of it in your life. So now you're going to find ways to create even more time for that thing. And you're going to share it with everybody that you love so that they know. And then they're going to start supporting you. And then you're going to start creating more time, protect it, and do more of that. So that's the combination. That's what happens when you take the time, when you prioritize from a place of intention, fulfillment, and something that you really want. It's not something that feels oppressing to you. It's not something that feels like an emergency to you. It's not something that you are reacting to. You will have time during the day for those things too, but those are not your priorities, okay? So this is why if you have read the book The One Thing, for example, that book talks about the concept of choose your one thing, okay? The one thing that is really important to you, for you right now, and maybe you have a one thing for 1 week or 2 weeks, and then that one thing may change to a different thing the following weeks or the following months. So you get to choose what that one thing is. But then they recommend create a bucket of time, and then nothing gets on the way. You honor yourself and you spend that time doing that one thing. And normally they recommend do it first thing in the morning, and then let the day be chaotic. Let all the emergencies come your way, put fires off, do whatever you need, but you have taken care of your one thing, and you are already feeling fulfilled, energized. You are committed to yourself, and you are in accountability with yourself because you did what you promised yourself you will do. So you can do that concept, and maybe you can do 2 or 3 things if they don't require a lot of time, but that's the concept that I will recommend you do. Okay? So now, sorry guys, I don't see the chat. So the chat is not showing up here. I'm sure you guys are talking and sharing, but I apologize. I don't know why it's not showing up. So I'm just gonna keep going with strategies now. Okay? I will invite you guys to use the circle. It's called Your Thriving Lifestyle. Use that circle to share questions, to share what you got out of this session, to share anything that you need to be heard. You need to share, and you are not able to do it here because I don't see the comments. I promise that I will answer. And if you are taking my course, I have a course called Understanding Your Executive Functioning Skills, and there is a full day, a full session about prioritizing. I will invite you to use that course classroom. You can share any questions you want, and I will share an audio reply. I will support you in the best way I can with an audio reply. So use that resource too, please, because I love being a part of your journey. I love supporting you with audio, and I love reading what you are up to. So please use those resources. And I apologize for the chat not showing up. I don't really know why. And I don't want to end the session because of that. Okay? So some strategies that you can explore, guys, to make the most out of your prioritizing skill. So the first thing that I want to say is that if you don't set priorities for yourself, if you don't take the time to set the priorities for yourself, something else, someone else is going to set them for you. And guess what? Most likely, you are not going to like them or they are not going to fit what you really want to see in your life. So keep that in mind. If you don't set priorities actively, intentionally for yourself, something else, someone else, the circumstances will do it for you. And you will be trapped into a endless chaos of things happening that you have no control over. And I don't think any of us like that. I don't like that. If you like that, then you don't have to do anything. You don't have to set intentions because you are already enjoying your life and doing what you want. But if you are frustrated, I will invite you to start doing that. Mindfulness and self-care can help you be calm and focused so that you can then prioritize better with more clarity and intention. Yeah, always meditation, silence, mindfulness, going for a walk in the forest, doing exercise, journaling, reading an inspiring book, petting your pet, drinking a cup of coffee, and having quiet time. Any self-care activity that allows you to slow down, to really connect with yourself in whatever way you know, you want, you enjoy, that's a great opportunity to really bring clarity about what do I want to see in my life? What are my priorities? And then I invite you to have a journal handy where you can write them down. Okay? As I said, I really recommend to create a main list, like a brain dump, where you are taking everything that you have in your head and you are putting it in a piece of paper. okay? And that can look, the brain dump can be main ideas, okay? So this is one example of mine. I have a piece of paper on my journal, and I have some main ideas that are this one, this one. So the main ideas are covered with a circle, okay? And then I put those main ideas in my journal, and then after, when I feel complete putting the main ideas about this specific topic that I am trying to create intentions about, then I will start branching out with everything that I feel needs to happen about this specific idea. So you see, I have one idea here, and this one says new Zenler courses. So this brain dump is about my business, and it's about my new academy and how I want to move forward with the academy. So I have a executive skills audio course. So that was to create the course that I just created. And then one of the ideas is record the course, submit the course, create live sessions. That's the ones that I follow here, that I schedule here. Create a video course so that I can share it as a video format too. So you see, I have a lot of ideas that I took action on already, but I took action because of this brain dump. I created the brain dump, and this became a mind map, and this became my to-do list after, because I took every idea, I sensed, is this important? Is this a priority for me? And then I say, yes, the executive functioning course, it's my number one priority right now for the next 2 weeks until I finish it. Then my priority is to do live sessions on the topics. And then my priority is to create a video course format and to share it in my other platforms. Okay? And then I had also to create a workshop, and I submitted 3 times to Insight Timer, 3 times to have a workshop, a very affordable $20 for 90-minute workshop, but it never got approved. So, but I did my best. Okay. So as you see, this is how it unfolded for me. This is one example. So you do the brain dump, and then you do the mind map with all the ideas, and then you put that in your ideal week. Okay. You create the time in your week so that you can take action on the things that you want to take action on. And I know when you do your ideal week, at the beginning, you are going to feel overwhelmed. You will want to give up. It will feel like a waste of time. I have more important things to do. You don't deserve to do this. You are not good enough at doing this. No one does this. Why are you doing it? No one is going to respect me. Who am I to claim what I need? And I can keep going and going and going and going with reasons why you shouldn't do this. But you have to push forward and still do it, okay? Even if it feels uncomfortable, because the end result is a way more fulfilling week, a way more intentional week, a week that is serving you, a week that you have control over, or more control over, okay? A week that you are setting intentions for your energy, your creativity, and your time. Not someone else, not something else, but you, okay? So ask for help to gain clarity if needed, okay? So, and always really remind yourself of how do you receive help? What is the best way possible for you to receive help? And honor that. Is it someone talking at you? Is it watching a video? Is it listening to content? Is it reading content? Is it being in a group setting? What is it? And then follow that, honor that, okay? Because that's the best way that you learn. And you should know what your learning style is by now. And if you don't, I will invite you to really discover what is your learning style. Are you an auditory person, a visual person, a reading person? Who are you? How do you learn best? And always honor that, okay? Another thing that is very important, avoid prioritizing things that feel pressing to you, but that they are not really important, okay? This is something that happens to all of us. We feel that so many things are pressing, emergencies, or maybe someone else's emergencies, but at the end of the day, when we get clear, and when we take the time to really allow ourselves to connect with ourselves and to set our priorities, you will start noticing that you don't have to do a lot of the things that you are doing. You don't have to serve a lot of the things that you are serving. And you have a choice. This is the thing, you have a choice. So you can think about it and you can say, thank you, but I don't have the time to do that. I choose not to do that. I have another appointment that is more important. I have something else to do that is more important for me right now. That's not my cup of tea. Thank you. Maybe I'll do it next week. You can say no in a million different ways, but just honor the reality of your life. Honor the reality of, is this task for you? Is this a reality? Do you really have to do this? And you always have a choice. And if you have to, if it's something that you want to do, just find the most efficient way of doing it. Can you delegate it? Can you find out a more efficient way of doing it faster to get the same result, but faster, so that you can open up time for the other things that are important? Can you do this activity at a different time? Maybe not do something that is not important at your prime time. And this takes me to the next one. Really become aware of your energy cycles and creativity cycles throughout your day. And if you notice that you are a morning person, and if you notice that in the morning that's your prime time, for example, and you have 100% capacity to do whatever you want, or 100% creativity to create, use that time for your most important and priority things. And then let the rest of the time be the time for emergencies, chaos, life events, whatever that you have to take care of, but they are not as important. So really honor that block of time, understanding your needs, understanding your energy, and understanding the capacity that you have at each time. Okay? Another strategy, avoid distractions, avoid unintentional choices and time wasters. Okay? Start saying no to things that you don't want to do, things that are unnecessary, things that you can delegate, things that you don't have the skills for. Just really think about them and just let them go with clarity, with intention, with commitment. Like, no, this is not the task that I want to do. I'm not good for this task. I don't want to do this task. I don't have the skills. I don't have the time for this task. Always be honest with yourself and communicate clearly that to others. Okay? I did cover like create your ideal week with windows of time for different intentions. So when you create your ideal week, I invite you to think about the week in intention. So when you create buckets of time, I want you to set an intention behind that bucket of time. And I know that so many people say, Emilio, I don't want to create a week that everything is full. But I'm not saying that you have to do that, okay? My week doesn't look like that. My week has a lot of empty space, and the intention behind that empty space, that there is nothing tangible in there, I call it flexible time. And I love it because sometimes I work, sometimes I exercise, sometimes I want to see friends, sometimes I do self-care, sometimes I create courses, sometimes I do whatever I feel like doing. I don't have to be somewhere at a specific time. No one is waiting for me. Okay? And then my Tuesdays and Thursdays, the intention behind for those days is to show up live here, to show up live for workshops, to be available for one-on-one calls, to set specific things that I have to be a specific time, a specific day in a specific location. Tuesdays and Thursdays are the days for those. Okay? Wednesdays, my intention and my wife's intention is to work one-on-one with people. That's the priority. Okay? If we don't have a client to work, then it becomes a flexible day. And then I will decide what to do. And then I have a master list, okay, of things that are important to me and I want to do, but they don't have to happen at a specific time in the week. So I look at that list and I say, okay, today I have time. I am going to reach out to that friend and go for coffee, or I am going to go for a skateboard ride that I always wanted to do this week, or I am going to go and do slacklining, or I am going to read the book that I didn't have the time to read, or I am going to create my next course, get started. Whatever I feel like doing, I will honor that. Okay? So that's very important. Start creating an intention behind every block of time. And maybe your intention for a block of time is, okay, from now until 2 p.m. or whatever, it's going to be chaos time. I'm going to just be open to whatever life throws at me. And that's your intention. So you just flow through your day. Okay, there is laundry to be done. This person is coming and is asking me to help them. Sure. And then that's your intention. But you have a limit. At 3 p.m., my intention is to rest and be by myself for an hour. And I'm going to do my meditation, or I'm going to have a nap, or I'm going to watch a funny movie, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go and have coffee with my neighbor or with my friend or with my partner, or I'm going to listen to a beautiful podcast or music. And then that's your time. And when someone asks you, hey, are you available? Sorry, I have a meeting. I have an appointment. That's it. It's an appointment with yourself. It's a meeting with yourself. But no one needs to know that. When you tell someone that you have an appointment, or you have a meeting, or you have a chore, they probably won't even ask, what is it? They will say, oh yeah, okay, see you later, or I'll see you another time. And that's it. You don't have to explain anything else. You have a meeting, you have an appointment. You have an important appointment that you cannot miss. And that's it. That's the only thing that you have to say. And people will respect it. If you say, oh, I'm going to spend time with myself, or I'm going to meditate, some people will not understand. And they will feel like, what? So that's more important than helping me? What are you talking about? So I'm not important? And yeah, you get into, maybe you are triggering that person, maybe that person doesn't understand because they don't do that in their lives. So you need to know when it's good to share and when I have an appointment is enough. So you will know who can you say what. You will start feeling that. Okay? So guys, this is what I had for today. Time is up. 45 minutes went by really fast. Again, my apologies for not being able to engage in the chat. I don't really know why I cannot see the chat. I did type hola and I can see that, but I don't even see anyone joining this session. So I don't even know if you guys are there, but the recording is going to be available for you to listen to. Just click on my profile link and then you will find a button that says access the recordings, and then you can access there. It's only $5 a month to access all the recordings that I have. That's a beautiful way to support me. If money is standing on your way, let me know and I will give you free access to it. Okay, so I don't want money to be a problem. So please speak up your needs. Okay. Yeah, so that's everything I have for today. Prioritizing, another very important executive functioning skill. I hope that what I shared today inspires you to start looking at your life with a lens of main intentions, main goals. Start connecting with each of those goals and start connecting with how you feel and start sensing what is a priority for you right now. What is something that you need to maintain? What is something that you need to really put a lot of energy into? And what is something that you can allow yourself to let it go or put it on pause for now? Because it is not a priority right now. It's not a priority for this week, for the next month. So you can put it aside. You can put a reminder in your calendar. You can write it on your journal. You can do whatever you need to remind yourself of that idea in the future. But right now, you focus on your priority or priorities if you have more than one. But always be realistic, sense what that priority needs from you, and then put it in an actionable way in your week. Okay, create an intentional bucket of time in your week to make that intention a reality, to start moving forward. And the pace can be really slow or really fast. You get to choose that. That's your choice. But start doing something about it. And if you notice procrastination, dive deeper. Why am I procrastinating? What's showing up for me? What are the obstacles that I'm facing? Do I need extra help, extra support? Do I need to get more uncomfortable here? Maybe this is something that I don't really want to do and it's not resistance. It's not relevant for me anymore. And then I will allow myself to let it go. So dive deeper when that shows up, because that's an opportunity for you to grow, to become more aware, and to really learn more about yourself. Okay? So guys, thank you so much for being here. I really honor your presence, your energy. I really love this container, and I cannot wait to see you in the next session on Thursday, where I will cover another executive functioning skill. Okay? Until then, have a wonderful rest of your day. Please, please, please enroll in my course if you can. Use the course Classroom to share how things are going, any questions you may have. And I also have other courses about minimalism, creating your clutter-free home, self-care, and I also have lots of audio tracks that you can listen to for free. Okay? So in whatever way you connect with me, thank you, and I cannot wait to hear from you. I will see you on Thursday, guys. Adios.